Charlotte Sterling pressed the syringe against the newborn's tiny leg and laughed. "One more step, Marcus, and your precious daughter discovers what real pain feels like." The baby wailed. Maya collapsed to her knees 20 feet away, her body still hemorrhaging from giving birth just 3 hours ago. "Please, God, please, she's innocent. She's just a baby." But Charlotte's eyes held nothing human. No mercy, no hesitation, no soul. Only the cold, calculated satisfaction of a woman who had spent 5 years engineering this exact moment. She had drugged her own nephew with memory-erasing chemicals. She had orchestrated a pregnancy between strangers without their knowledge or consent. She had kidnapped a newborn infant from her mother's arms while the mother screamed and bled. And now, standing on the altar of Manhattan's most prestigious cathedral, surrounded by senators, Supreme Court judges, and live television cameras broadcasting to 30 million viewers, Charlotte Sterling was about to prove that in America, power always defeats justice. Always. But Charlotte had made one catastrophic miscalculation. The nobody she had dismissed. The poor pregnant housekeeper she had tried to erase from existence. The woman with nothing left to lose. That woman was about to become the hurricane that destroyed everything Charlotte had built. This is that story. Before we begin this incredible journey, I invite you to subscribe to our channel and follow Maya's story until the very end. Comment below with the city you're watching from. I want to see how far across the world this story travels. Now let's go back to where it all began. The champagne exploded across Marcus Sterling's chest like liquid gold. Maya watched in horror as the tray slipped from her fingers as the glasses shattered against marble, as 500 pairs of wealthy eyes turned toward the sound of her career ending. "Oh God," her voice cracked. "Oh God, no." Security materialized from nowhere. 2 men in black suits grabbed her arms hard enough to bruise. "Step back. Now." "I'm sorry." Panic flooded her system. Her supervisor would fire her. She knew it. 6 months of scraping rent together, 6 months of skipping meals destroyed in one clumsy second. "Please, it was an accident. Release her." The voice cut through chaos like a blade. Marcus Sterling raised his hand. His security team froze. "I said release her." The guard stepped back. Maya stared at the man she had just assaulted with expensive champagne. CEO of Sterling Global. Net worth $11 billion. Face on the cover of Forbes 6 times. He should have been furious. Instead, he looked at her with something that resembled exhaustion, recognition, loneliness. "It's fabric," he said. "It washes." "I'm so sorry, sir." "Stop apologizing." His dark eyes held hers. "What's your name?" Maya Johnson." "Maya." He repeated it slowly, memorizing it. "You look exhausted." The words escaped before she could stop them. "So do you." Stupid. Stupid. You didn't tell a billionaire he looked tired, but Marcus Sterling didn't look offended. He almost smiled. "I suppose I do." He turned to leave, then paused. "Eat something before you collapse. That's an order." He disappeared into the crowd. Maya stood alone in a puddle of champagne worth more than her monthly rent. She had no idea her life had just changed forever. 20 minutes later, Maya vomited in the service bathroom. She barely made it to the toilet in time. Her body heaved until nothing remained except hollow exhaustion. Morning sickness. She had suspected for 2 weeks, refused to confirm it, refused to even consider the possibility. Her phone buzzed, a text from Destiny. "Landlord came by. We have until Friday. I'm scared, Maya." Maya closed her eyes. Friday was 4 days away. 4 days to find $800 that didn't exist. She splashed water on her face and went back to work. Survival didn't allow for breakdowns. The VIP corridor was off limits to staff. Maya knew this. Everyone knew this. But the main hallway had flooded with guests, and someone had redirected servers through the east wing. She took a wrong turn. Now she stood in a dim corridor lined with paintings worth more than her apartment building, desperately searching for an exit. That's when she heard the voices. "We're running out of time, Charlotte." "I'm aware of the timeline." A woman's voice, ice cold. The air clause activates January 1st. If Marcus doesn't produce a child by then, the entire fortune transfers to the secondary bloodline. I know. But what do you propose force him to marry? Marriage is messy. Divorce is messier. Menopause. What we need is simpler. Simpler how? A child. One child. Preferably female. Maya stopped breathing. How exactly do you plan to acquire a female child? Leave that to me. Footsteps approached. Maya ran. She bolted down the corridor around a corner through a door and slammed into Marcus Sterling. His hands caught her arms, steadied her. You again. I'm sorry. Words tumbled out. I got lost. I was looking for the service area and I heard... She stopped herself. You heard what? Nothing. You're shaking, Maya. He was right. Her whole body trembled. I'm fine. You keep saying that word. His grip softened, but didn't release. When's the last time you ate? I don't remember. When's the last time you slept more than 4 hours? I'm fine. That word doesn't mean what you think it means. Despite everything, she almost laughed. Did you just quote The Princess Bride? Seemed appropriate. He reached into his jacket, pulled out a business card. If you ever need anything, call this number. Why would you help me? Because you look like someone who's been fighting alone too long. His voice dropped. Sometimes fighters need backup. He walked away. Maya stared at the card. She told herself she would never use it. The pregnancy test showed 2 pink lines at 3:47 a.m. Maya sat on her bathroom floor back against cold tiles staring at the plastic stick like it might change its mind. Pregnant. She was pregnant. Thoughts flooded uncontrollably. The gala. The collision. The dark room upstairs where she had made a choice she barely remembered. A man whose face she never saw clearly. An encounter so desperate that names seemed unnecessary. She thought about her empty refrigerator, her past due rent, her sister depending on her. Then Maya did something she hadn't done since her mother's funeral. She sobbed. Ugly, heaving, gasping sobs that shook her entire body. She cried until her throat was raw and her eyes swelled shut, and nothing remained inside her except hollow despair. When she finally stopped, the test was still positive. Dawn light crept through the dirty window. Her life had just become infinitely more complicated. The eviction notice arrived 3 days later. Final notice. Vacate premises within 72 hours. Maya read it 7 times. Destiny found her on the floor, the crumpled notice in her fist. Maya. Destiny dropped beside her. What happened? We have 3 days to find somewhere to live. What? They can't. We paid rent. We were $200 short. $200? They're throwing us out over $200. Maya said nothing. Destiny grabbed her shoulders. We'll figure it out. We always do. I'm pregnant, Des. Silence. What? Pregnant. 8 weeks. I found out last week, but I didn't know how to tell you, and now we're being evicted, and I don't know who the father is, and I don't know what to do. Maya's voice shattered. I always know what to do. Always. But right now I have nothing. Destiny hugged her fiercely. We'll figure it out. Maya wanted to believe her. For the first time in her life, she couldn't. Maya collapsed at work 6 days later. One moment she was mopping the hospital lobby floor. The next moment the world tilted and she was falling. She woke in an examination room, IV in her arm, doctor standing over her. Ms. Johnson, can you hear me? What happened? You fainted. Dehydration, exhaustion, and... The doctor checked her chart. You're pregnant. Approximately 10 weeks. Were you aware? Yes. You're severely malnourished. When did you last eat properly? She couldn't remember. 3 days ago. 4. She had been giving her food to Destiny. I'm fine. No, you're not. You're carrying twins. Maya's heart stopped. What? 2 heartbeats. Strong ones. The doctor's expression softened. Ms. Johnson, if you don't start caring for yourself, you could lose both pregnancies. Maya's hands flew to her stomach. She hadn't wanted these babies, hadn't planned them. But suddenly facing the possibility of losing them, she realized something terrifying. She wanted them, desperately, even if she had no idea how to survive. The phone call came 2 days later. Maya was packing their belongings when her phone rang. Unknown number. Something made her answer. "Hello. Ms. Johnson, please hold for Mrs. Victoria Sterling." Maya's legs nearly buckled. Victoria Sterling, the name on every charity billboard in Manhattan. The philanthropist, the matriarch, Marcus Sterling's mother. A new voice came on, older, warmer. "Ms. Johnson, this is Victoria Sterling. We met briefly at my foundation's gala." "Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry about the champagne." "Forget the jacket. Marcus told me what happened. He said you looked like you needed help." A pause. "He wasn't wrong, was he?" Maya's throat tightened. "Mrs. Sterling, I don't understand why you're calling." "I have a proposition. Light household duties at my home. Fair pay, room and board for you and your sister." Another pause. "Marcus mentioned you might benefit from stability." "Room and board, stable income, a roof. You don't know anything about me, Mrs. Sterling. I know strength when I see it, and I know desperation when I hear it." Victoria's voice softened. "Sometimes the universe puts people in our path for a reason. I'd like to discover what that reason is." Maya thought about the eviction notice, the empty cupboards, the twins. "When do you need me to start?" Sterling Manor was a monument to generational wealth. Maya stood at the service entrance with her single suitcase staring at a building that probably had more bathrooms than her old apartment had square feet. "You must be Maya." A tall man with kind eyes approached. "I'm Thomas, head of household staff. Mrs. Sterling asked me to get you settled." "Thank you." "Mrs. Sterling doesn't offer opportunities." Thomas smiled. "She offers second chances. There's a difference." Maya's room was small but clean. Real mattress, fresh sheets, a window overlooking gardens she had never imagined existing in Manhattan. Destiny arrived 3 hours later, eyes wide. "Maya, this place has 17 bathrooms." "I know. There's a library with rolling ladders." "I know." "Are we sure we didn't die and this is heaven?" Maya laughed, her first real laugh in months. "It's real. I don't know how, but it's real." She met Charlotte Sterling on day 3. Maya was dusting the library when the door opened behind her. "So, you're Victoria's new project." Maya turned. Charlotte Sterling stood in the doorway, immaculate, cold, watching Maya like a scientist examining bacteria. "Yes, ma'am. I'm Maya Johnson." "I know exactly who you are." Charlotte stepped closer. Her heels clicked against hardwood like a countdown. "The charity case, the stray my sister-in-law collected." "I'm here to work, ma'am." Charlotte circled her slowly. "Let me give you advice that might save your life. In this house there are people who matter and people who serve. Know your place. Stay invisible. Don't make the mistake of thinking anyone cares whether you live or die." Mrs. Sterling was very kind. Victoria is kind to everyone. It's her greatest weakness. Charlotte stopped inches from Maya's face. "Kindness doesn't keep you safe. Power does." Her voice dropped to a whisper. "And you have none." She walked out. Maya stood frozen. Then she went back to work. What choice did she have? Dr. Sarah Chen delivered the news 2 weeks later. "The babies are developing well, strong heartbeats." She pointed at the ultrasound. "1 boy, 1 girl." Maya stared at the grainy image. 2 shapes, 2 lives. A boy and a girl. "Is there anyone you want me to call the father?" Maya thought about the dark room, the faceless man. "There's no one. You don't have to do this alone." But Maya had always been alone, since her mother died, since her father disappeared, since she became responsible for everything. 2 babies wouldn't change that. The confrontation happened 4 days later. Maya was making tea when Marcus walked into the kitchen. She hadn't seen him since the gala, had avoided him deliberately, but now he stood 10 feet away, staring at her with an expression that stopped her heart. "You're pregnant." Not a question. Maya set down her cup. "Yes." "How far along?" 14 weeks. The father? Not in the picture. Marcus stepped closer. Do you know who he is? Maya's pulse spiked. Why does it matter? Because I need to know if it's me. The world stopped. Maya couldn't breathe, couldn't think. What? The gala. The upstairs room. His voice cracked. I don't remember that night. I had one drink and then hours disappeared. Just gone. His eyes burned into hers. But I remember your voice, Maya. I remember you saying my name. Maya grabbed the counter. Her legs couldn't hold her. That was you. I think so, but I don't understand how it happened. Someone did something to me that night. Maya's mind raced to the VIP corridor. Charlotte's voice, the air claws. Oh, God! Marcus grabbed her arms. What do you know? Your aunt. The words spilled out. The night of the gala, I heard her in the hallway. She said she needed an heir, a child. She said she had a plan. Marcus went white. What are you saying? I'm saying our meeting wasn't an accident. Someone planned it. Someone drugged you. Charlotte? You think my aunt drugged me. His voice was barely audible. Set us up. Used us both. Maya's silence confirmed it. For a long moment, neither spoke. Then Marcus pulled her into his arms. Not romantic. Protective. I'm sorry, he whispered. I'm so sorry, Maya. Maya broke. She sobbed against his chest while he held her. For the first time in years, she wasn't carrying the weight alone. The attack came the next morning. Maya was walking through the garden when a black SUV pulled up. The window rolled down. A man smiled. Ms. Johnson, Dr. Chen sent me. Something about your test results. Maya frowned. I didn't have new tests. The man's smile didn't waver. Get in the car. A second man appeared behind her. Get in. Now. Maya opened her mouth to scream. A cloth clamped over her face. Sweet chemicals flooded her lungs. Darkness. She woke strapped to a chair in a white room. No windows, no furniture, fluorescent lights buzzing. Charlotte Sterling stood before her smiling like they were having tea. Good morning, Maya. Maya thrashed. Let me go. In a moment. First, we need to discuss your future. Charlotte sat elegantly. You've become a problem, an unexpected variable. What are you talking about? The children you're carrying. My nephew's children. The Sterling heirs. Charlotte's eyes glittered. Did you think I would let a nobody control this family's future? You drugged him, set everything up. I did what was necessary. Charlotte stood, paced slowly. The Sterling fortune passes through the female bloodline. A daughter inherits everything, and you're carrying a daughter. Maya strained against restraints. How do you know that? I have access to everything. Dr. Chen's files, hospital records, everything. Charlotte smiled. One boy, one girl. The girl is all that matters. You're insane. I'm practical. Charlotte produced a folder. Sign these documents. Relinquish parental rights. Walk away wealthy. And if I refuse, then I destroy you. Charlotte's voice turned to ice. I will drag you through every court. Paint you as an unstable gold digger who seduced a billionaire. Make sure no judge believes a word you say. When I'm done, you won't have custody of a houseplant. Maya's heart hammered. Marcus won't let you. Marcus doesn't remember that night. His testimony is worthless. Charlotte leaned close. You have nothing. You are nothing. You are completely alone against the most powerful family in America. How do you think this ends? Maya stared into those cold, calculating eyes. Something inside her ignited. It ends with you in prison. Charlotte laughed. Prison for what? Kidnapping, assault, drugging your nephew, whatever else I find when I start digging. Charlotte's smile flickered, then returned sharper. 24 hours to sign. After that, I stop being generous. The door slammed. The lock clicked. Maya began planning her escape. The rescue came 11 hours later. She had counted every second, tested every restraint, screamed until her voice died. Nothing worked. Then voices outside, shouting, a crash. The door exploded open. Marcus stood there. Security guards, police. Maya. He rushed to her, hands working frantically at restraints. Are you hurt? The babies? We're okay. Her voice was hoarse. How did you find me? Tracked the SUV. Charlotte thought she was careful. He freed her wrists, pulled her up. She wasn't careful enough. Maya collapsed against him. She's going to take the babies. She has documents. She's not taking anything. His arms tightened. I will burn everything to the ground before she touches our children. Our children? Maya pulled back, looked at his face. You believe me. Really believe they're yours. I don't need a DNA test. His hand cupped her face. I believe you. Why? Because I know you, Maya Johnson. His forehead touched hers. Some part of me has known you since champagne hit my jacket. We'll figure everything out. Together. Maya wanted to believe him. But as they walked out past unconscious guards and searching police officers, she felt it. Charlotte had been caught. Charlotte had not been defeated. This was only beginning. 3 weeks later, everything shattered again. Maya was resting at Sterling Manor when her phone buzzed. Breaking Sterling matriarch collapses at charity event. Maya ran, through corridors, downstairs, past shouting staff. Marcus was climbing into a car. Maya, you shouldn't... I'm coming. He didn't argue. The hospital was chaos. News vans everywhere, reporters screaming, police fighting crowds. Inside was worse. Victoria Sterling lay on a gurney. 15 doctors surrounded her, maybe more, all shouting contradicting orders. Cardiac arrest paddles, no anaphylaxis, her throat swelling, check the airway, blood pressure crashing. Maya pushed through the medical staff and heard it. That sound, thin, desperate, terrifying. Not a heart attack, not allergic reaction. Choking. Stop! Maya screamed. Everyone stop! Doctors turned, startled, annoyed. She's choking. Something's blocking her airway. Ma'am, step back. Listen to her. She can't breathe. Maya shoved past a doctor twice her size. Victoria's eyes were wild with terror, hands clawing her throat, lips turning blue. I'm sorry, Maya whispered. This will hurt. She grabbed Victoria, turned her, delivered a sharp blow between shoulder blades. Nothing. Another blow. Harder. You're going to injure... Maya ignored them. Wrapped arms around Victoria, positioned fist below ribcage, pulled up with everything she had. Once. Twice. Third time something flew from Victoria's mouth, clattered across the floor. Small, hard, metallic. Victoria gasped, drew breath. Another. The room went silent. Dr. Chen rushed forward, checked vitals with shaking hands. She's breathing, airway clear, she's stable. Marcus appeared at Maya's side, white with shock. How did you... I saw what they didn't. Victoria's hand found Maya's, squeezed weakly. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you. Maya squeezed back, but something else had caught her attention. The object from Victoria's throat. Someone in a black suit had picked it up, was walking away with it, and at the edge of the crowd, watching with barely concealed fury, Charlotte Sterling. Their eyes met. Charlotte smiled. Maya understood with ice-cold certainty. This was no accident. Someone had tried to murder Victoria Sterling, and Maya had just made herself their next target. The war had begun. Charlotte's smile haunted Maya for 3 days straight. She couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw that smile. Cold, calculating, triumphant. The smile of a woman who had just watched her murder attempt fail and was already planning the next one. Victoria remained in the hospital under 24-hour guard. Marcus had hired private security. Armed men stationed outside her door around the clock. Cameras in every corner. No visitors without prior approval. But Maya knew it wasn't enough. Charlotte Sterling didn't make mistakes twice. Whatever came next would be worse. You need to rest. Marcus stood in the doorway of Maya's room at Sterling Manor. 3 a.m, dark circles under his eyes, stubble on his jaw. He looked like he hadn't slept either. "I can't," Maya whispered. "Every time I close my eyes, I see her face. Charlotte's being watched. She can't. She tried to kill your mother, Marcus, in a hospital, surrounded by doctors, with security everywhere." Maya's voice cracked. "She doesn't care about being watched. She thinks she's untouchable." Marcus crossed the room, sat on the edge of her bed. His hand found hers in the darkness. "She's not untouchable. We have evidence now. The object from my mother's throat. It was a custom-made obstruction device, designed to expand when it hit moisture. Someone put it in her drink." Maya's stomach turned. "They can trace it." "They're trying. The material is rare. Only a few manufacturers in the world produce it. And if they trace it to Charlotte, then she goes to prison." Marcus squeezed her hand. "This ends Maya. I promise you." But Maya had learned something about promises. They were easy to make, impossible to keep, especially when you were fighting someone who had no soul. The press conference happened 4 days after the attack. Marcus stood behind a podium at Sterling Global headquarters. 50 reporters, 200 cameras, live broadcast to every major network. Maya watched from a private room upstairs with Destiny, her heart in her throat. 3 days ago, someone attempted to murder my mother," Marcus said. His voice was steady, controlled, but Maya could see the rage simmering beneath the surface. "Victoria Sterling is alive today because of the quick thinking of a woman named Maya Johnson. A woman who saw what 15 trained doctors missed. A woman who saved my mother's life while everyone else stood frozen." Cameras flashed like lightning. "I'm here today to announce 2 things. First, Sterling Global is offering a $10 million reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of whoever orchestrated this attack." Gasps rippled through the crowd. "Second," Marcus paused, his jaw tightened, "I want to address the rumors that have been circulating about Maya Johnson. Rumors about her background, her pregnancy, her relationship to this family." Maya stopped breathing. "Maya Johnson is carrying my children. Twins, and she is under the full protection of the Sterling family." The room exploded. Reporters shouted questions. Cameras flashed so bright the room looked like it was on fire. Security struggled to maintain order. Destiny grabbed Maya's arm. "Holy shit! He just told the whole world!" Maya couldn't speak. Her hands were shaking. Her vision was blurring. Marcus had just painted a target on her back the size of Manhattan. Or maybe he had just given her the only armor that could save her life. She didn't know which. Charlotte's response came 6 hours later. Maya was in the Manor's kitchen when Thomas rushed in, face pale. "Ms. Johnson, you need to see this." He led her to the main living room, where Destiny was already standing in front of the television, mouth hanging open. Charlotte Sterling was on every channel. She sat in a plush chair in what looked like a lawyer's office, dressed in morning black, dabbing tears from her eyes with a silk handkerchief. "I am devastated by these accusations," Charlotte said, her voice trembling with practiced emotion. "My sister-in-law Victoria is like a mother to me. The suggestion that I would ever harm her is beyond comprehension." The interviewer leaned forward. "Mrs. Sterling, your nephew Marcus has implied that you were involved in the attack. How do you respond?" "My nephew is clearly under the influence of a woman who has manipulated him from the moment they met." Charlotte's voice hardened slightly. Maya Johnson appeared out of nowhere, a homeless pregnant woman with massive debts and a criminal father. Within weeks, she had inserted herself into our family, seduced my nephew, and now she's claiming to carry his children. Maya felt like she'd been punched in the stomach. "I don't know what her endgame is," Charlotte continued, "but I do know this. She was the one who saved Victoria. She was the one who knew exactly what was wrong when no one else did. Doesn't that seem convenient to anyone else?" The interviewer's eyebrows rose. "Are you suggesting Maya Johnson orchestrated the attack herself?" Charlotte's smile was pure poison wrapped in silk. "I'm suggesting that the timing is remarkably suspicious, and I'm suggesting that my nephew needs to wake up before this woman destroys our entire family." The screen cut to commercial. Destiny turned to Maya. "That lying, manipulative..." She's good. Maya's voice was hollow. She's really good. She just accused you of trying to murder Victoria. I know. On national television. I know. Maya walked to the window. Outside, news vans were already gathering at the manor's gates, like vultures scenting blood. Charlotte had just fired the first shot in a war Maya wasn't prepared to fight. But ready or not, the war had found her. The next 72 hours were hell. Maya's face was everywhere. Her name was everywhere. Strangers on the internet dissected every moment of her life: her mother's death, her father's criminal record, her eviction history, her hospital bills. Nothing was private anymore. Nothing was safe. Hashtags trended worldwide. Team Charlotte, Team Maya, Sterling scandal exposed, gold digger or hero. Death threats flooded social media. Strangers sent messages describing in graphic detail what they wanted to do to her babies, to everyone she loved. Destiny had to change her phone number 3 times. Maya stopped leaving her room. On the 4th day, Marcus found her sitting on the floor of her bathroom, knees pulled to her chest, sobbing so hard she couldn't breathe. Maya. He dropped beside her, pulled her into his arms. Talk to me. I can't do this. The words tore out of her. I can't. There's too many of them. They hate me. They all hate me, and they don't even know me. They don't matter. They want to hurt my babies, Marcus. People are sending me pictures of dead infants. They're describing... She couldn't finish, couldn't say the words. Marcus held her tighter. His whole body was trembling with rage. I will find every single person who sent those messages, he said quietly. I will find them, and I will destroy their lives. Every single one. That won't stop more from coming. Then I'll destroy them too. His voice was deadly calm. I don't care how many there are. I don't care how long it takes. No one threatens you. No one threatens our children. Maya looked up at him, tears streaming down her face. Why are you doing this? We barely know each other. These babies might not even be... They're mine. He cut her off. I don't need a test. I don't need proof. Something happened between us that night. Something real. And whatever Charlotte did to engineer it, she didn't create what I feel when I look at you. Maya's heart stopped. What do you feel? Marcus was quiet for a long moment. I feel like I've been drowning my entire life, he finally said. And you're the first person who's ever offered me air. He kissed her forehead. Maya closed her eyes. For one brief moment, the world stopped being terrifying. Victoria woke up on day 5. Maya was there when it happened, sitting in the corner of the hospital room, trying to make herself invisible while Marcus talked to doctors. Victoria's eyes fluttered open, confused at first, then sharpening with recognition. Maya. Her voice was weak, raspy, but unmistakably warm. Maya stood, approached the bed hesitantly. Mrs. Sterling, how do you feel? Like someone tried to murder me. Victoria's lips curved into something resembling a smile, which I understand they did. Mom, Marcus took her hand. You shouldn't talk. You need to rest. I've been resting for 5 days. I'm tired of resting. Victoria's eyes found Maya again. You saved my life. Maya swallowed hard. I just saw what... You saw what 15 doctors missed. You acted when everyone else froze. You saved me. Victoria's grip on Maya's hand was surprisingly strong. I don't forget things like that. Mrs. Sterling. Victoria. Call me Victoria. Her gaze dropped to Maya's stomach. How are my grandchildren? Maya blinked. Your grandchildren. My son claims those babies are his. I believe him. Victoria's smile widened slightly. Which makes them my grandchildren. So I'll ask again. How are they? Tears burned Maya's eyes. They're fine. Growing. Strong. Good. Victoria squeezed her hand. Because I intend to spoil them rotten. And no one, not Charlotte, not the press, not anyone is going to stop me. For the first time in days, Maya felt something like hope. The evidence arrived on day 7. Maya was in the Manor's study with Marcus when Jaden, his head of security, walked in carrying a manila folder. We traced the device, Jaden said. Custom manufactured. Only 3 companies in the world produce that specific material. Marcus took the folder. And all 3 have records of recent orders. One was for a research laboratory, one was for a government facility. Jaden paused. And one was for a private medical clinic owned by a shell company called Horizon Health Partners. Maya frowned. What's Horizon Health Partners? Jaden's expression was grim. That's what we needed to find out. Took some digging, layers of corporate ownership, offshore accounts, anonymous shareholders. But you found something, Marcus said. We found everything. Jaden pulled a second folder from inside his jacket. Horizon Health Partners is owned by a company called Meridian Holdings. Meridian Holdings is owned by a trust called the Kensington Fund, and the Kensington Fund has one primary beneficiary. He laid the folder open on the desk. A name, a photograph, financial records, Charlotte Sterling. Maya stopped breathing. We have her, Marcus whispered. Not yet. Jaden shook his head. Ownership isn't proof of intent. She'll claim she didn't know what her companies were doing. She'll blame underlings, scapegoats. Then what do? We need her to confess, on record, something that can't be explained away. Marcus slammed his fist on the desk. She's never going to confess. She's too smart. She's smart, Jaden agreed. But she's also arrogant, and arrogant people make mistakes when they think they've won. Maya looked at him. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting we make her think she's won, give her exactly what she wants, and when she lets her guard down, he smiled coldly, we destroy her. The trap was set over the next 2 weeks. Marcus staged a public argument with Maya outside the manor. Security footage was leaked to the press. Headlines screamed about trouble in paradise. Maya moved out of Sterling Manor into a modest apartment, alone, unprotected, vulnerable. The bait was irresistible. Charlotte made contact on day 16. Maya was heating soup in her tiny kitchen when her phone rang. Unknown number. Hello, Ms. Johnson. Charlotte's voice was silk over razors. I hear you've come to your senses. Maya's heart hammered. She looked at the recording device Jaden had installed. The red light was on. What do you want, Charlotte? I want what I've always wanted. What's best for this family. A pause. And I want to offer you a deal. What kind of deal? Meet me tomorrow. Alone. I'll text you the address. Charlotte's voice dropped. Come alone, Maya. If I see anyone following you, if I suspect for even a moment that this is some kind of trap, I will end you. Not your career, not your reputation, you. Do you understand? Maya swallowed. I understand. Good. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. The line went dead. Maya stared at her phone. The red recording light blinked steadily. They had her. Now they just had to survive the meeting. Destiny showed up at Maya's apartment an hour later, furious. You're not actually going alone. I have to. Like hell you do. Destiny grabbed her shoulders. Maya, this woman tried to kill Victoria. She kidnapped you. She's threatened to murder you and your babies. And you want to walk into a meeting with her by yourself. I won't be alone. Jaden's team will be monitoring everything. Wired surveillance, backup vehicles, if anything goes wrong. If anything goes wrong, you'll be dead before backup arrives. Maya took her sister's hands. Des, listen to me. Charlotte needs to believe I'm desperate. Beaten. Willing to sign away everything just to make it stop. That's the only way she'll let her guard down. The only way she'll say something we can use. And if she sees through it, then I'll improvise. That's not a plan, Maya. That's a suicide note. Maya pulled her sister into a hug, held her tight. I've been fighting my whole life, Des. Fighting to survive, fighting to keep us together, fighting to protect these babies. She pulled back, looked into Destiny's eyes. This is just one more fight, and I'm going to win. Destiny wiped her eyes. You better, because if you die, I'm going to kill you myself. Maya almost smiled. Deal. The meeting was set for an abandoned warehouse in Brooklyn. Maya arrived at 9:47 a.m. alone as instructed, wearing a wire so small it was invisible against her skin. Charlotte was waiting inside, standing in a pool of light from a broken skylight, looking like a queen surveying her kingdom. "You came alone. Good." Charlotte smiled. "I was worried you might do something stupid." "I'm tired of fighting, Charlotte." Maya made her voice crack, made her shoulders slump. "I just want it to stop." "Of course you do." Charlotte circled her slowly. "You're exhausted, pregnant, terrified. Everyone hates you. The man you thought would protect you has abandoned you." She stopped in front of Maya. "I can make it all go away." "How?" Charlotte produced a folder. The same documents from before. Custody agreements, financial settlements. "Sign these, disappear, start a new life somewhere far away from here." Charlotte's smile widened. $5 million, Maya. "Enough to live comfortably for the rest of your life. All you have to do is give me what I want." "The babies. The female heir. The boy is irrelevant." Charlotte shrugged. "You can keep him if you want. I only need the girl." Maya's blood boiled, but she kept her face neutral, broken. Why do you need her so badly?" "Because the sterling fortune passes through the female bloodline, you stupid girl." Charlotte's mask slipped, contempt bleeding through. "A daughter inherits control of the entire trust. Billions of dollars. More power than you could possibly imagine. And you think you can control her?" "I know I can." Charlotte laughed. "I've been controlling this family for 30 years. Marcus thinks he runs the company. He runs what I allow him to run. Victoria thinks she has power. She has the power I give her." Maya's heart was racing. This was it, the confession they needed. "You tried to kill Victoria." "I removed an obstacle." Charlotte waved dismissively. She was getting suspicious, asking questions about the trust, about the heir clause. She needed to be silenced. "You drugged Marcus, set up that night at the gala." "I engineered a solution to a problem." Charlotte stepped closer. "Marcus was never going to produce an heir on his own. Too damaged, too distrustful. So I found someone desperate enough to be useful. Someone nobody would believe." She tilted her head. "You, Maya, you were perfect, poor, pregnant, disposable." Maya's hands trembled with rage. "And now you expect me to just hand over my daughter? I expect you to be practical." Charlotte produced a pen. "Sign the papers, take the money, walk away alive." Her eyes hardened. "Because the alternative is much less pleasant." Maya looked at the documents, looked at Charlotte, and smiled. "No." Charlotte blinked. "Excuse me." "I said no." Maya straightened. Let the fear drain from her posture. Let the strength she had been hiding flood back in. "I'm not signing anything. I'm not giving you my children, and you're not walking away from this." Charlotte's expression shifted. Confusion, then understanding, then rage. "You're wearing a wire." "State of the art. Everything you just said was transmitted to federal agents 3 blocks away." Maya's smile widened. "You confessed to attempted murder, to drugging your own nephew, to conspiracy, to kidnapping. All of it recorded. All of it admissible." Charlotte lunged. Maya stepped back. The warehouse doors exploded inward. Jaden, security teams, federal agents. Charlotte screamed as they tackled her. Handcuffs clicked around her wrists. "This isn't over," Charlotte shrieked. "I have lawyers. I have connections. You can't do this to me." Maya walked toward her slowly. "You wanted to take my daughter." Maya's voice was quiet, cold, deadly calm. "You wanted to erase me from existence. You called me disposable." She crouched down until they were face to face. "Look at me, Charlotte. Look at the nobody who just ended your empire." Maya leaned close. "I am not disposable. I am not weak, and I am not alone anymore." She stood. "Get her out of here." Agents dragged Charlotte toward the door. Her screams echoed off the warehouse walls. Maya closed her eyes, breathed. It was over. Charlotte was finished. But as Maya placed her hand on her stomach, felt the twins move beneath her palm, She knew the truth. The real battle wasn't over. It was just beginning. Charlotte's arrest made headlines for exactly 48 hours. Then something worse happened. Maya was lying in bed at Sterling Manor, finally allowing herself to breathe again, when her phone buzzed at 2:17 a.m. A text from an unknown number. Charlotte was just the puppet. The real master is still free. Watch your back. Maya's blood turned to ice. She showed Marcus the message the next morning. His face went pale. Who sent this? I don't know. Unknown number. Untraceable. Marcus grabbed his phone, called Jaden. I need you at the manor, now. We have a problem. Jaden arrived 20 minutes later. He read the message 3 times without speaking. Charlotte mentioned something during interrogation, he finally said. Something the feds dismissed as rambling. She kept saying she wasn't the architect. She was just following orders. Maya's stomach dropped. Orders from who? She wouldn't say, but she laughed when they mentioned prison, said she'd be out within a week. Jaden's jaw tightened. They thought she was delusional. Now I'm not so sure. Marcus slammed his fist on the table. You're telling me someone else is behind all of this, someone we haven't identified. I'm telling you, Charlotte Sterling is a lot of things, but she's not the mastermind type. She's ambitious, ruthless. But this level of planning, the shell companies, the custom murder devices, the years of manipulation. Jaden shook his head. That takes patience she doesn't have. Maya felt the walls closing in. So we caught the wrong person. We caught a person, just not the only one. The news broke 3 days later. Charlotte Sterling was released on bail. $200 million, posted by an anonymous benefactor within hours of her arraignment. Maya watched the press conference from the manor's living room, her hands shaking so badly, destiny had to hold them still. Charlotte stood on the courthouse steps, flanked by an army of lawyers, looking like a woman who had just won the lottery. I am innocent of all charges, Charlotte said calmly. The recording obtained by federal agents was illegally acquired and will be thrown out in court. The allegations against me are baseless, motivated by jealousy and greed. Reporters shouted questions. Charlotte smiled that poisonous smile. I bear no ill will toward Maya Johnson. She's clearly a troubled young woman who has been manipulated by forces she doesn't understand. I only hope she gets the help she needs. The screen went to commercial. Destiny threw the remote at the wall. She just accused you of being crazy on national television again. Maya couldn't respond. Her throat was too tight. Marcus walked in. His face was gray. The judge threw out the recording, said it was obtained under coercive circumstances. Without it, the prosecution's case falls apart. So she walks free. Maya's voice cracked. After everything she did. Not forever. We'll find other evidence. Other evidence. Maya stood so fast her vision blurred. She tried to kill your mother. She kidnapped me. She admitted everything. I know. And she just walks away. For now. Marcus reached for her. Maya, I promise. Don't. She stepped back. Don't promise me anything. Every promise anyone has ever made me has been broken. Every single one. She walked out of the room. She didn't see the tears in Marcus's eyes. She didn't see destiny move to follow her, then stop. She didn't see anything except the cold, crushing weight of a world that had never been fair and never would be. The pain started that night. Maya was alone in her room, curled on the bed when the first cramp hit. Sharp, sudden, terrifying. She gasped, grabbed her stomach. Another cramp, worse. No, she whispered. No, no, no. Please, not now. She tried to stand. Her legs gave out. She hit the floor hard. The door burst open. Destiny. Maya, what's wrong? Something's wrong with the babies. Maya could barely speak. Des, something's wrong. Destiny screamed for help. Staff came running. Someone called an ambulance. Someone called Marcus. Maya remembered only fragments after that. Sirens, bright lights, voices shouting medical terms she didn't understand. Marcus's hand gripping hers in the ambulance, his face pale with terror. Doctor. Chen's voice calm but urgent. She's in premature labor, 28 weeks. We need to stop the contractions now. Needles, monitors, machines beeping, and then finally, silence. Maya woke up in a hospital bed. Morning light filtered through blinds. Marcus sat beside her head in his hands. "The babies," Maya croaked. They're okay." Marcus looked up. His eyes were red. "Dr. Chen stopped the labor. They're still inside you. They're safe." Maya sobbed with relief. Marcus moved to the bed, gathered her in his arms. "You scared me," he whispered. "You scared me so much." "I'm sorry." "Don't apologize. Never apologize." He pulled back, looked at her. "This was stress. The doctor said your body is shutting down from stress. You can't keep fighting like this, Maya. It's killing you." "I don't know how to stop." "Then let me fight for you." His voice broke slightly. "Please, let me protect you. Let me carry some of this weight." Maya looked at him. Really looked. She had spent her entire life being strong, being the one who carried everything, being the one who never needed help. But looking at this man, this broken, lonely, desperate man who had somehow become her anchor, she realized something. Asking for help wasn't weakness. It was survival. "Okay," she whispered. Marcus closed his eyes. "Okay. Okay, I'll let you help." He kissed her forehead, her cheeks, her lips, and for one brief, beautiful moment, Maya felt safe. The moment didn't last. 3 days later, Maya was released from the hospital under strict orders for bed rest. Marcus brought her back to Sterling Manor, hired round-the-clock nurses, turned her room into a medical suite. She was lying in bed trying to convince herself everything would be fine when her phone buzzed. Another unknown number, another message. "Check your father's bank account. The truth will destroy you." Maya's heart stopped. Her father, Reggie Johnson, the con man who had abandoned her and Destiny years ago, the criminal who had left them drowning in his debts. What did he have to do with any of this? She called Jaden. "I need you to look into someone. Reggie Johnson, my father." "Your father?" Jaden sounded confused. "Why, I got another message. It mentioned his bank account, something about the truth." Silence on the line. "I'll look into it. But Maya, are you sure you want to know?" "I need to know." "Okay, give me a few hours." The call ended. Maya stared at the ceiling. Her father had been out of her life for over a decade. A ghost, a bad memory she had buried deep. Why was someone digging him up now? Jaden returned that evening with a folder and an expression that made Maya's stomach clench. "I found something," he said. "You're not going to like it." Marcus was beside her instantly. "What is it?" Jaden opened the folder. Bank statements, transaction records, dates highlighted in yellow. "Reggie Johnson has received regular payments for the past 5 years, monthly deposits, $50,000 each." Maya frowned. "From who?" "A company called Meridian Holdings." The name hit her like a physical blow. "That's Charlotte's shell company." "Yes." Jaden's voice was grim. "Maya, your father has been on Charlotte's payroll for 5 years, since before you ever met Marcus, since before the gala." The room spun. "That's impossible. I hadn't talked to my father in a decade. He had nothing to do with—" "There's more." Jaden pulled out another document. "Phone records. Your father made a call the night of the gala, 3 hours before you encountered Marcus in that upstairs room." "Who did he call?" Jaden met her eyes. "Charlotte Sterling." Maya couldn't breathe. Her father, her own father, had been part of it, had helped engineer the entire thing, had sold her out for money. "No." The word came out as a whisper. "No, that can't be right." "I'm sorry, Maya. He's my father. I know. He abandoned us. He left us with nothing. Why would Charlotte pay him anything?" Marcus took her hand. "Because he gave her something valuable. Information. Access." His voice hardened. "You." Maya felt something break inside her. All this time she had blamed fate, blamed coincidence, blamed Charlotte's evil. But her own father had been the one who set the trap. Her own blood had betrayed her. She didn't cry. She was beyond tears. She just sat there hollow, while the truth sank in like poison. Reggie Johnson showed up at Sterling Manor 2 days later. Maya was on bed rest when Thomas announced a visitor, someone who insisted on seeing her, someone who wouldn't take no for an answer. "Who is it?" Thomas's expression was uncomfortable. "He says he's your father." Maya's blood turned to fire. "Send him in." Marcus grabbed her arm. "Maya, no. You don't have to see him." "Yes, I do." Her voice was deadly calm. "I need to look him in the face." Reggie walked in 5 minutes later, older than she remembered, grayer, wearing clothes too expensive for an honest man. "Baby girl." He spread his arms wide. "Look at you, all grown up, living in a mansion." Maya didn't move. "Why are you here? Can't a father visit his daughter?" Reggie smiled that smile she remembered from childhood. Charming. False. "I heard you were pregnant. Twins. That's wonderful news." "Cut the act, Reggie." His smile flickered. "What act?" "I know about the payments. I know about Charlotte. I know you called her the night of the gala." Silence. Reggie's smile disappeared completely. "So," he straightened, dropped the pretense. "You found out." "How could you?" Maya's voice cracked. "I'm your daughter. Destiny is your daughter. How could you sell us out? Sell you out?" Reggie laughed bitterly. "Baby girl, I saved your life. You were drowning in poverty, working 3 jobs, skipping meals. I gave you an opportunity." "An opportunity?" Maya's rage exploded. "You helped Charlotte drug Marcus. You helped her set up that night. You made me a pawn in her scheme." "I made you a billionaire's baby mama." Reggie's voice rose to match hers. "You think you'd be living here without me. You think Marcus Sterling would look twice at you on the street. I gave you access to a world you never would have touched." Maya stared at him. For a moment she was 12 years old again, standing at her mother's grave, watching her father walk away without looking back. "Get out!" "Maya, get out of this house." Her voice was ice. "Get out and never come back. I don't have a father. I never did." Reggie's face twisted. "You think you're better than me now? You think these rich people actually care about you? You're nothing to them, Maya. Nothing. The second those babies are born, they'll throw you away like garbage." "Security!" Jaden appeared instantly, 2 guards behind him. "Remove this man from the property. He's never to return." They grabbed Reggie's arms. He struggled, screamed. "This isn't over, Maya. You hear me? I know things. I know secrets that will destroy you. You can't throw me away." They dragged him out. The door slammed. Silence. Maya stood perfectly still for a long moment. Then her legs gave out. Marcus caught her before she hit the floor. "I've got you," he whispered. "I've got you." Maya sobbed into his chest. Everything she had believed about her life was a lie. Her father wasn't just a deadbeat. He was the architect of her destruction. Victoria came to see her that night. Still weak from her hospital stay, the Sterling matriarch made her way to Maya's room with a determination that refused to acknowledge physical limitations. "May I sit?" Maya nodded. Victoria lowered herself into a chair beside the bed. For a long moment, neither spoke. "I heard what happened with your father," Victoria finally said. "Everyone heard. He was screaming loud enough. Reggie Johnson is a small, pathetic man who sold his soul for money he didn't deserve." Victoria's voice was gentle but firm. "What he did is not a reflection of you." "He's my father. Blood doesn't make family, Maya." Victoria reached out, took her hand. "I learned that lesson the hard way. Charlotte is my blood, my husband's sister. I welcomed her into our home, trusted her with our secrets, and she tried to murder me." Maya looked up. "Family is not who you're born to," Victoria continued. "Family is who shows up when you're breaking, who holds your hand in the darkness, who fights for you when you can't fight for yourself." She squeezed Maya's hand. "You have that family now, whether you believe it or not." Tears slipped down Maya's cheeks. "I don't know how to trust anymore." "Neither do I." Victoria smiled sadly. but I'm choosing to try. With you, with my grandchildren, with whatever future we can build from this wreckage. Maya closed her eyes. What if I'm not strong enough? You survived poverty, abandonment, betrayal. You saved my life when no one else could. You faced Charlotte and won. Victoria's voice strengthened. Maya Johnson, you are the strongest person I have ever met. Don't you dare doubt that. For the first time in days, Maya felt something other than despair. Hope, fragile, flickering, but real. The attack came at 3:33 a.m. Maya was sleeping when alarms shattered the silence. Security breach, multiple intruders, armed. Marcus burst into her room. We have to move, now. What's happening? Someone's in the house. Gunshots echoed from somewhere below. Marcus grabbed Maya's arm, pulled her toward a hidden panel in the wall. Panic room. Jaden installed it last week. The panel slid open. A narrow corridor. Steel walls. They ran. Behind them, glass shattered. Men shouted. More gunshots. Maya. Destiny's voice. Terrified. She's in the East Wing, Marcus said. Jaden's team is with her. Keep moving. The corridor opened into a reinforced room. Thick steel door. Multiple locks. Marcus sealed them inside. Monitors lined one wall. Security feeds from every corner of the manor. Maya stared at the screens. Men in black tactical gear moving through hallways. Professional. Methodical. Checking every room. They're looking for me, Maya whispered. They're not going to find you. But Destiny. Look! Marcus pointed at a screen. Destiny was in another panic room with 3 security guards. Safe. Terrified, but safe. Maya exhaled, then froze. On another screen, a face she recognized. The man leading the assault team wasn't wearing a mask. He was looking directly at a camera, smiling. Marcus, Maya's voice strangled. I know him. What? That man, I've seen him before. Her mind raced. Where, when? The hospital. When Victoria was choking, he was there, in a black suit. He picked up the object from her throat. Marcus stared at the screen. You're sure? Positive. Then this wasn't Charlotte's operation. Marcus's face went pale. This is whoever Charlotte was working for. The real mastermind. The puppet master. And he had just sent an army to find Maya. The siege lasted 4 hours. Police arrived, SWAT teams, FBI. By the time the intruders retreated, 3 security guards were dead. The manor's east wing was destroyed, and the man who led the assault had vanished like smoke. Maya sat in the panic room long after it was over, hands on her stomach, feeling her babies move. They were alive. She was alive. But for how long Marcus returned at dawn, exhausted, covered in dust, but alive. Jaden found something. Maya looked up. The assault team leader. We ID'd him from the security footage. Marcus handed her a photograph. His name is Victor Crane, ex-military, private security contractor. And according to financial records, he's been receiving payments from the same source that funded Charlotte. Who? Marcus was quiet for a moment. The payments trace back to a trust fund, established 30 years ago, before I was born, before Charlotte joined the family. Whose trust fund? Marcus met her eyes. My father's brother, Edward Sterling. His voice cracked. My uncle, the man who supposedly died 20 years ago. Maya's heart stopped. Your uncle is alive, apparently. And he's the one behind all of this. Everything. Charlotte. The attacks. The murder attempts. The plan to steal our children. Marcus's hands were shaking. My own family. My own blood. They've been trying to destroy us from the inside for 30 years. Maya reached for him, pulled him close. Then we destroy them first, she whispered. Marcus buried his face in her hair. Outside, dawn broke over a ruined mansion. Inside, 2 people held each other and prepared for war. The real enemy had finally revealed himself, and he was far more dangerous than Charlotte had ever been. Edward Sterling had been dead for 20 years. At least that's what everyone believed. Maya sat in the temporary safe house Jaden had arranged, staring at a photograph that changed everything. A man in his 60s, silver hair, sharp features, eyes that looked exactly like Marcus's. "Tell me everything," she said. Victoria sat across from her, hands wrapped around a cup of tea she hadn't touched. The past 3 days had aged her a decade, learning that her brother-in-law was alive, that he had orchestrated Charlotte's schemes, that he had been watching them all for 30 years. "Edward was always the ambitious one," Victoria began quietly. "My husband Robert was kind, gentle. He wanted to use the sterling fortune to help people, but Edward wanted power, pure, absolute power. What happened between them? The heir clause." Victoria's voice tightened. "When Robert and I had Marcus, Edward realized he would never control the company. The fortune passes through blood heirs. Robert's children would inherit everything. Edward's line would get nothing." Marcus stood by the window, his back to them. His shoulders were rigid with tension. "So he tried to take it," Marcus said. "Didn't he? That's why he supposedly died." "He tried to have your father killed." Victoria's voice cracked. "A car accident. Made to look random. But Robert survived, barely. He spent 3 months in a coma." Maya's hand flew to her mouth. "When Robert woke up, he had evidence, proof that Edward had hired the driver. Instead of going to the police, Robert gave Edward a choice: disappear forever and be declared legally dead, or face prosecution and destroy the family name. He chose to disappear. He chose to wait." Victoria set down her tea with trembling hands. "We thought he was gone. We thought we were safe. But he was planning, building, waiting for the perfect moment to strike." Marcus turned. His face was carved from stone. "The perfect moment was me, my children, the next generation of heirs." "Yes." Victoria's eyes filled with tears. "He couldn't kill Robert directly. Too suspicious. But if he controlled the next heir, if he could eliminate Robert's grandchildren and replace them with heirs, he could manipulate." "He'd finally win," Maya whispered. "He'd finally win everything." Silence fell over the room like a shroud. 30 years. Edward Sterling had waited 30 years for revenge, and Maya's babies were standing in his way. The labor started at 4:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. Maya was reviewing security protocols with Jaden when the first contraction hit. She gasped, doubling over, hands flying to her stomach. "Maya!" Jaden was on his feet instantly. "What's wrong?" "The babies." She couldn't catch her breath. "They're coming." "That's impossible. You're only 32 weeks. Another contraction. "Stronger." Maya cried out. Jaden grabbed his phone. "Get Dr. Chen here now. Maya's in labor." The next 3 hours were a blur of pain and terror. Dr. Chen arrived within 20 minutes. Set up emergency equipment in the safe house's master bedroom, called in a surgical team. "She's fully dilated," Dr. Chen announced at 7:53 p.m. "These babies are coming whether we're ready or not." Marcus held Maya's hand so tight her fingers went numb. "It's too early," Maya sobbed between contractions. "They're too small. What if—" "Don't." Marcus's voice was fierce. "Don't think like that. Our babies are fighters, just like their mother." Another contraction ripped through her. Maya screamed. "I see a head," Dr. Chen called. "Push, Maya. Push now." Maya pushed with everything she had. At 8:17 p.m., her son entered the world. Small, so incredibly small, but alive, crying, fighting. "He's beautiful," Marcus whispered, tears streaming down his face. But there was no time to celebrate. "The second baby is in distress," Dr. Chen said urgently. "Heart rate dropping. We need to get her out now." Maya's terror spiked. "What's happening? Is she okay?" "Push, Maya. Hard as you can. Now." Maya pushed until she thought her body would tear apart. At 8:24 p.m., her daughter was born. Silent. Not breathing. Dr. Chen grabbed the tiny body, started working frantically. "No!" Maya tried to sit up. "No, no, no, what's wrong with her? Why isn't she crying?" Marcus held her down. His face was white. "Let them work. Maya, let them work." She's not breathing. Marcus, she's not. A tiny cry pierced the air, weak, thin, but unmistakably alive. She's breathing, Dr. Chen announced. Heart rate stabilizing. She needs intensive care immediately, but she's breathing. Maya collapsed back on the bed, sobbing with relief. Both babies, alive, fighting, just like their mother. The nursery was transformed into a NICU within hours. Maya lay in bed, exhausted beyond words, watching her babies through a video feed. 2 incubators. 2 tiny lives hooked to machines. James, 3 pounds, 2 ounces. Hope, 2 pounds, 11 ounces. Names she and Marcus had chosen together during long nights of planning and dreaming. They're fighters, Dr. Chen said during her midnight check-in. Small but strong. If they make it through the next 48 hours, their chances improve significantly. If. That word haunted Maya. Marcus hadn't left her side, hadn't slept, hadn't eaten. Just sat there holding her hand, watching the monitors, like his stare alone could keep their children alive. You should rest, Maya whispered. I'll rest when they're safe. Marcus, I almost lost you 3 times, Maya. His voice cracked. The kidnapping, the premature labor, the attack on the manor. I am not closing my eyes until I know my family is safe. Maya squeezed his hand. We're going to make it, she said. All 4 of us. You sound certain. I have to be. She looked at the monitors, at her tiny, fragile children fighting for every breath. If I'm not certain, I'll fall apart. And I can't afford to fall apart. Not now. Marcus leaned over, kissed her forehead. You are the most incredible person I've ever known. I'm just a woman trying to keep her babies alive. That's exactly what makes you incredible. The attack came at 3:33 a.m., same time as the manor assault, same military precision. Alarms shrieked. Security feeds went dark. Emergency lights bathed everything in red. They're here, Jaden shouted, bursting into Maya's room. Multiple breach points. Professional team. The babies. Maya tried to stand. Pain ripped through her. I have to get to the babies. You can't walk, you just gave birth. I don't care. Maya pushed herself up. Her legs buckled. Marcus caught her. I'll get them, Marcus said. Stay here with Jaden. No, Marcus, don't leave me. But he was already running. Maya collapsed against Jaden, helpless, terrified, listening to gunfire echoing through the building. 1 minute passed. 2, 3. The gunfire stopped. Silence. Then Marcus's voice over the radio. Broken. Desperate. They took Hope. They took our daughter. Maya's scream shattered the night. The next 6 hours were the worst of Maya's life. She couldn't move, could barely breathe. Her body was torn from childbirth, her mind was torn from terror, and somewhere out there, her 2-pound daughter was in the hands of monsters. Jaden coordinated search teams, police, FBI, private security, nothing. Hope had vanished. At 9:47 a.m., Maya's phone buzzed. Unknown number, video message. She pressed play with trembling fingers. Edward Sterling's face filled the screen. Hello, Maya. His voice was smooth, cultured, terrifying. I believe I have something that belongs to you. The camera panned. Hope, in an incubator, machines beeping, a woman in scrubs monitoring her vitals. She's quite beautiful, Edward continued. Fragile, like a little bird. It would be so easy to— Don't! Maya screamed at the phone. Don't you touch her. Edward smiled. I have no intention of harming my great niece, not unless you force me to. What do you want? What I've always wanted, the Sterling Empire. Edward leaned closer to the camera. Here's how this works, Maya. You're going to convince Marcus to sign over his shares. All of them. Every penny of his stake in Sterling Global. He will if he wants to see his daughter again. Edward's smile widened. You have 24 hours. I'll send instructions for the transfer. If the shares aren't in my name by this time tomorrow, little Hope will become an orphan, starting with her mother. The screen went black. Maya dropped the phone. Her vision blurred. Her chest couldn't expand. She was dying. She had to be dying. Marcus found her on the floor, hyperventilating, clutching the phone like a lifeline. "What happened, Maya? Talk to me." She couldn't form words. Just showed him the video. Marcus watched it 3 times. When he looked up, his eyes were dead. "I'll sign whatever he wants. Marcus, I'll give him everything. The company, the money, all of it." His voice was hollow. "None of it matters if our daughter is gone." Maya grabbed his face, forced him to look at her. "He'll kill us anyway, you know that. The moment he has control, he'll eliminate everyone who can challenge him." "Then what do we do?" Maya's mind raced, desperate, frantic. Then she remembered something. Charlotte. Marcus frowned. "What about her?" "She was Edward's puppet, but she also worked with him for years. She knows his operations, his hideouts, his weaknesses." Maya's grip tightened. "We need her help. She tried to kill my mother, and Edward used her to do it. Don't you think she's angry about being exposed, about being thrown away like garbage the moment she got caught?" Marcus hesitated. "Charlotte Sterling is a monster," Maya continued. "But right now, she's a monster who wants revenge on the same person we do. That makes her an ally. You want to make a deal with the devil. I want to save our daughter." Maya's voice broke. "I'll make a deal with anyone." Marcus was silent for a long moment. Then he nodded. "Get me Charlotte's lawyer. Now." The meeting happened at 2:17 p.m. in a secure location arranged by Charlotte's legal team. Maya insisted on attending. Dr. Chen protested. Marcus refused. Maya went anyway. She wouldn't sit safely in bed while her daughter's life hung in the balance. Charlotte looked different without her armor of wealth and power. Smaller, older, still dangerous, but diminished. "Well," Charlotte smiled thinly, "the desperate parents come begging." "Cut the act," Maya snapped. "We know about Edward." Charlotte's smile faltered. "We know he's alive. We know he used you, and we know he threw you away the moment you became a liability." Maya leaned forward. "How does it feel, Charlotte, to realize you were never anything but a tool?" Charlotte's eyes flashed with rage. "Watch your tone. Or what you'll threaten my babies again." Maya laughed bitterly. "Edward already has one of them. You've got nothing left to leverage." Silence stretched between them. "What do you want?" Charlotte finally asked. "Edward's location, his operations, everything you know." "And in exchange," Marcus spoke for the first time, "reduced charges, better prison, possibility of parole." Charlotte considered this. "I want full immunity." "Not happening." "Then we have nothing to discuss." Charlotte started to rise. "He'll come for you next." Charlotte froze. Maya pressed forward. "You think you're safe because you're in custody. Edward doesn't leave witnesses. Everyone who knows his secrets eventually disappears. How long do you think you have?" Charlotte's composure cracked, just a fraction. But Maya saw it. "Help us stop him," Maya said quietly. "Help us save my daughter, and I will personally make sure you survive this." Charlotte stared at her for a long moment. "You really think you can beat him? A pregnant nobody from the streets." "I'm not a pregnant nobody anymore." Maya straightened. "I'm a mother whose child was stolen, and there is nothing more dangerous in this world than that." Something shifted in Charlotte's eyes. Respect, grudging, but real. "Fine." Charlotte sat back. "I'll tell you everything, but I want it in writing. Immunity or nothing." Marcus and Maya exchanged glances. "Reduced sentence," Marcus said. 15 years instead of life. Best offer." Charlotte considered, then nodded. "Edward has a compound, upstate New York, 40 miles outside Albany. That's where he's keeping the girl." Maya's heart slammed. "You're sure?" "Positive. He took me there once, showed me his empire, bragged about his plans." Charlotte's lip curled. "He loves showing off. It's his weakness." "What about security?" "Private army, ex-military, armed to the teeth." Charlotte paused. "But there's a vulnerability. His medical staff." Maya frowned. "Medical staff?" "The compound has a full medical wing. Edward has health issues. Heart problems. He needs constant monitoring. Charlotte smiled coldly. His head physician is a woman named Dr. Sarah Mitchell. She's not loyal to him. She's terrified of him. If you can get to her, you can get inside. Maya looked at Marcus. Hope. 40 miles away, surrounded by soldiers, but alive. We're going to get her back, Maya whispered. We're going to get her back, Marcus agreed. Charlotte laughed softly. You two are either very brave or very stupid. Maya met her eyes. We're parents. There's no difference. The assault was planned for midnight. Jaden assembled a team, 12 operatives, former special forces, the best money could buy. Maya refused to stay behind. Absolutely not, Dr. Chen said. You gave birth 36 hours ago. You can barely walk. My daughter is in that compound, and you'll bleed out before you reach the gate. I don't care. Marcus stepped in. Maya, listen to me. Don't tell me to stay behind. Don't you dare. I'm not. He took her hands. But I need you alive. James needs you alive. If something happens to me in that compound, our son needs his mother. Maya's breath caught. You're not going to die. I'm going into a military compound to rescue our daughter from a psychopath who's been planning revenge for 30 years. Marcus's voice was steady. I might die, Maya. And if I do, I need to know you'll survive, that our children will survive. Tears streamed down Maya's face. I can't lose you. You won't. He kissed her forehead. I promise. You promised before. And I kept that promise. He pulled back, looked into her eyes. I will keep this one too. Wait for me, please. Maya wanted to scream, wanted to fight, wanted to tear the world apart. Instead, she nodded. Bring our daughter home. I will. He kissed her one last time. Then he was gone. The next 4 hours were agony. Maya sat in the command center watching drone feeds, listening to radio chatter, feeling every second stretch into eternity. At 12:17 a.m., the team breached the compound's perimeter. At 12:34 a.m., gunfire erupted. At 12:51 a.m., Marcus's voice crackled over the radio. We found the medical wing, moving to the nursery. At 1:03 a.m., an explosion shook the compound. Maya's heart stopped. Marcus, respond. Static. Marcus, more static. Then, I have her. Marcus's voice, breathless, alive. I have hope. She's okay. We're coming home. Maya collapsed against the console, sobbing. She didn't stop crying until the convoy appeared 3 hours later. Marcus walked through the door at 4:47 a.m., their daughter cradled in his arms. Hope, tiny, fragile, alive. Maya reached for them with trembling hands. Marcus placed their daughter in her arms. She's perfect, Maya whispered through tears. She's absolutely perfect. She has your eyes, Marcus said, and your stubbornness. Maya looked up at him. What happened to Edward? Marcus's expression darkened. He escaped during the explosion, disappeared into the night. He sat beside her. But we destroyed his compound, his army, his operations. He's running now, hiding. He'll come back, and we'll be ready. Marcus put his arm around her, looked at their daughter. We'll always be ready. Maya leaned against him, her family, together, alive. For now, that was enough. But somewhere out there, Edward Sterling was watching, waiting, planning his next move. And Maya knew with absolute certainty that the final battle was yet to come. 6 months passed like a held breath. Maya watched her twins grow stronger each day. James gained weight steadily, his cries growing louder, his grip growing tighter. Hope remained smaller, fragile as glass, but her eyes held fire, fighter's eyes, survivor's eyes. Maya knew those eyes. She saw them in the mirror every morning. The Sterling family had relocated to a fortress, private security, armed guards, surveillance systems that could track a fly from 3 miles away, every precaution money could buy. But Edward Sterling was still out there, watching, waiting. Maya felt him in her bones. At 7:23 a.m. on a Tuesday morning, her feeling became reality. We found him. Jaden stood in the doorway of the nursery, his face carved from stone. Maya had been feeding hope, humming softly, pretending the world was safe. The world was never safe. Where? Manhattan. He's been hiding in plain sight. Penthouse on the Upper East Side, registered under a shell company we missed. Maya's hands trembled. How long has he been there? Based on surveillance, at least 2 months. 2 months. Edward had been living 20 minutes away while Maya slept, while she nursed her babies, while she tried to convince herself the nightmare was over. Does Marcus know? I'm telling him now. Maya looked down at Hope. Her daughter stared back with those fierce, knowing eyes. It ends today, Maya whispered. Marcus refused to wait. We hit him now, before he moves again. They stood in the command center. Maya, Marcus, Jaden. Victoria still recovering but refusing to be excluded. Even Charlotte attending via video link from her prison cell, her sentence reduced for cooperation. He'll be expecting an assault, Jaden warned. The penthouse is a fortress, private elevator, armed guards on every floor. We're looking at significant casualties. I don't care about casualties, Marcus said coldly. I care about ending this. Marcus? Victoria's voice was gentle but firm. We need to be smart. Edward has survived 30 years in hiding. He didn't do that by being careless. So what do you suggest? We wait until he kidnaps another one of my children. Silence fell. Maya stepped forward. There's another way. Everyone turned to look at her. Edward doesn't just want the company. He wants to win. Completely. Publicly. Maya's mind raced. Charlotte said his weakness is showing off. He wants everyone to see his victory. What are you suggesting? Jaden asked. The Sterling Foundation Gala. It's in 3 days. Maya looked at Marcus. The biggest social event in Manhattan. Every power player in the city will be there. Media coverage worldwide. Marcus frowned. You want to host the gala now? I want to use the gala as bait. Maya's voice hardened. Announce that you're stepping down. That you're transferring control of Sterling Global to a new board. Make Edward think he's won. Charlotte's voice crackled through the video link. He'll come. He won't be able to resist watching his enemies surrender. And when he shows up? Victoria asked. Maya smiled coldly. We destroy him. The next 72 hours were chaos. Invitations went out. Press releases announced Marcus's shocking retirement. Social media exploded with speculation. Sterling CEO steps down. Amid family crisis, billionaire dynasty in shambles. Is this the end of Sterling Global? Edward took the bait. At 2:17 p.m. the day before the gala, Jaden intercepted a communication. Edward had RSVP'd, under an alias of course, but they knew he was coming. The trap was set. Maya spent that night in the nursery with her children. She held James first, then Hope, memorizing their faces, their smells, the way their tiny fingers wrapped around hers. Tomorrow might be the last time I see you, she whispered. The babies slept unaware of the war being fought for their future. Destiny found her at 3:33 a.m., sitting in the rocking chair, tears streaming silently down her face. You should sleep, Destiny said. I can't. Destiny sat on the floor beside her. You're scared. Terrified. But you're doing it anyway. What choice do I have? Maya looked at her sister. Edward won't stop. He'll never stop, not until he has everything or we destroy him. Destiny was quiet for a moment. Remember when Mom died? Maya's throat tightened. Yes. Remember what you said to me at her funeral? I was crying so hard I couldn't breathe. And you grabbed my face and you said, we survive. That's what we do. We survive. Maya finished the sentence. Tears fell faster. You were 12 years old, Destiny said. 12. And you looked at me like you were 100. Like you'd already seen more pain than anyone should see. She grabbed Maya's hand. Tomorrow you're going to walk into that gala and you're going to face a monster. And you're going to win. Because that's what Maya Johnson does. She survives. She protects. She wins. Maya sobbed. I don't feel like a winner right now. No one does before the fight. Destiny squeezed her hand. But after they'll write stories about you. The nobody who took down an empire. The poor pregnant woman who saved a billionaire's mother and destroyed a dynasty of evil. Maya laughed through her tears. That's very dramatic. It's true. Destiny smiled. Now get some sleep. Tomorrow you become a legend. The Sterling Foundation Gala began at 7:00 p.m. Maya stood at the entrance of the Grand Meridian Hotel, wearing a gown that cost more than her old apartment. Security earpiece hidden beneath her hair. Hands steady despite the terror coursing through her veins. Marcus appeared beside her, took her hand. Ready? No. Good. Neither am I. He squeezed her fingers. Let's end this. They walked into the ballroom together. 500 guests, crystal chandeliers, champagne towers, Manhattan's elite draped in diamonds and designer suits. Maya scanned every face, looking for silver hair, sharp features, eyes like Marcus's. Nothing yet. At 7:47 p.m., Marcus took the stage. Thank you all for coming. His voice was steady, rehearsed, perfect. I stand before you tonight to make an announcement that has been difficult beyond words. The crowd murmured. Effective immediately, I am stepping down as CEO of Sterling Global. Gasps rippled through the ballroom. The past year has tested my family in ways I never imagined. We have faced betrayal, violence, loss, and through it all, I have learned something important. Marcus paused. Some battles cannot be won. Some enemies cannot be defeated. Sometimes the bravest thing a man can do is walk away. Maya watched the crowd, searching, hunting, and then she saw him. Silver hair, sharp suit, standing near the back entrance, Edward Sterling, watching his nephew surrender with a smile of pure triumph. Maya's heart hammered. She touched her earpiece. Target acquired, northeast corner. Copy, Jaden's voice replied. Teams moving into position. Edward began walking toward the stage. Maya intercepted him. Mr. Sterling. She stepped into his path. Or should I say, Mr. Edward Sterling, back from the dead. Edward's smile didn't waver. Ms. Johnson, the famous nobody who saved Victoria's life. He tilted his head. I've wanted to meet you properly for quite some time. The feeling isn't mutual. No. Edward stepped closer. You should be thanking me, dear. Everything you have, the mansion, the money the man you owe to my plans. If I hadn't arranged that night at the gala, you'd still be scrubbing floors. Maya's rage nearly blinded her. You drugged Marcus. You manipulated my father. You kidnapped my daughter. I accelerated your destiny. Edward's eyes glittered. And now look at you, a queen among commoners. You should be grateful. I should kill you where you stand. Edward laughed. With what, your bare hands? He glanced around. I know about your little trap, Maya, the security teams, the federal agents. Did you really think I'd walk in here unprepared? Maya's blood froze. Edward raised his hand, made a gesture, and chaos erupted. Gunfire exploded from 3 directions. Guests screamed, tables overturned, glass shattered. Maya hit the ground as bullets flew overhead. Maya, Marcus's voice somewhere in the chaos. Maya, where are you? Stay down. She crawled toward his voice. Edward's men were everywhere, professional soldiers cutting through the crowd like wolves through sheep. But Jaden's team was fighting back, return fire, controlled bursts, tactical precision. Maya reached Marcus behind an overturned table. Are you hurt? No, you. Fine. She grabbed his arm. Edward knew. He knew about the trap. Then how do we... The babies. Maya's heart stopped. Marcus, the babies. She grabbed her phone, called Destiny. 1 ring, 2, 3. Hello? Des, are the babies safe? Static. Then Destiny's voice, terrified. Maya, someone's trying to break in. The security system is... The line went dead. Maya screamed. She ran, through the chaos, through the gunfire, through the screaming crowd. Marcus was right behind her. They burst out of the ballroom, sprinted toward the parking garage. Jaden intercepted them. The compound's under attack. Secondary team of Edward's men. They're after the children. Get us there. Now. The drive took 17 minutes. 17 minutes of Maya praying, bargaining with God, promising anything, everything if her babies survived. The compound was a war zone when they arrived, smoke billowing, windows shattered, bodies on the ground. Maya jumped out before the car stopped moving. Maya, wait. She didn't wait. She ran into the burning building. Flames licked the walls. Smoke choked her lungs. She couldn't see, couldn't breathe, but she knew exactly where to go. The nursery. She kicked down the door. Destiny stood in the center of the room, holding both babies, surrounded by 3 of Edward's soldiers. Maya! Destiny's voice broke. I'm sorry. I tried to stop them. Let them go. Maya's voice was deadly calm. Now! The lead soldier laughed. You're not in a position to give orders. Neither are you. A gunshot. The soldier dropped. Marcus stood in the doorway, weapon raised. The other 2 soldiers turned. Marcus fired twice more. They fell. Maya ran to her sister, took the babies in her arms. James was crying. Hope was silent. Both alive. We need to move, Marcus said. Edward's still out there. They ran, through the smoke, through the fire, through the compound's collapsing corridors. They made it outside just as the building exploded behind them. The shockwave knocked them down. Maya curled around her babies, shielding them with her body. When she looked up, Edward Sterling was standing 10 feet away, gun pointed at her head. Impressive, Edward said. You actually saved them. I didn't think you had it in you. Stay away from my children. Your children? Edward laughed. Those babies are Sterling heirs. They belong to this family. They belong to me. They belong to themselves. Maya stood slowly, placed the babies in Destiny's arms. Take them. Run. Maya, run. Destiny ran. Edward watched her go. You think she'll make it far? I think you'll be dead before she reaches the gate. With what? Edward gestured at her empty hands. You have no weapon, no backup, nothing. Maya smiled. I have something better. And what's that? I'm a mother. Maya stepped forward. And you just threatened my children. She moved faster than Edward expected, grabbed his gun arm, twisted. The weapon discharged into the ground. They struggled. Maya was smaller, weaker, still recovering from childbirth, but she was fighting for her children. And that made her unstoppable. She drove her knee into his stomach, her elbow into his face, felt cartilage crunch beneath the blow. Edward staggered, dropped the gun. Maya kicked it away. 30 years! She gasped. 30 years you planned and plotted and waited. For what money power? For justice. Edward spat blood. My brother stole everything from me. My inheritance, my company, my future. I was supposed to run this family. And instead you became a monster. Maya shook her head. You tried to kill Victoria. You drugged Marcus. You kidnapped my daughter. You murdered innocent people. I did what was necessary. You did what was evil. Maya picked up the gun, pointed it at his chest. And now it's over. Edward's eyes widened. You won't kill me. You're not capable. You don't know what I'm capable of. Maya's finger tightened on the trigger. I walked into this city with nothing. No money, no family, no future. And I survived. I clawed my way up from poverty and abuse and betrayal. I saved Victoria Sterling's life when 15 doctors failed. I faced Charlotte and won. I faced you and won. She stepped closer. I am Maya Johnson. I am a mother. I am a survivor. And I am absolutely capable of pulling this trigger. Edward's composure finally cracked. Fear flooded his eyes. Wait, please, we can make a deal. No more deals. I have money, billions hidden away. I'll give you everything. I don't want your money. Then what do you want? Maya leaned close. I want you to know what it feels like to lose everything. The way you made others lose everything. The way you tried to make me lose everything. Sirens in the distance, getting closer. The police are coming, Maya said. Federal agents. Everyone. They know who you are. They know what you've done. And this time there's no escaping. Edward lunged for the gun. Maya fired. The bullet hit his shoulder. He screamed, collapsed. "I could have killed you," Maya said quietly. "But death is too easy. You're going to spend the rest of your life in prison, watching everything you built crumble to dust. Watching Marcus run the company you wanted. Watching my children grow up safe and happy. That's your punishment, Edward. Living with your failure." Police cars flooded the compound. Agents swarmed around them. Edward was dragged away in handcuffs, screaming threats that no one would ever hear. And Maya stood in the ruins of the nightmare, watching it finally end. Marcus found her 20 minutes later. She was sitting on the ground staring at nothing, trembling from adrenaline and exhaustion and relief. He sat beside her, put his arm around her shoulders. The baby's safe. Destiny got them to the secondary location. And Edward, in custody. This time he's not getting out. Marcus pulled her close. "It's over." "Is it?" Maya's voice cracked. "It doesn't feel over. It feels like I'm still waiting for the next attack, the next kidnapping, the next betrayal." "That feeling will fade, eventually." "How do you know?" "Because I felt it too, after my father's accident, after learning about Edward, after everything." Marcus kissed her temple. "But you taught me something, Maya. You taught me that surviving isn't just about staying alive. It's about choosing to live anyway, despite the fear, despite the pain." Maya closed her eyes. "I'm so tired." "Then rest. I'll keep watch." "You promise." "I promise." Maya leaned against him. For the first time in over a year, she felt genuinely safe. 6 months later, they stood on the steps of Sterling Manor. Not the old manor. That had been destroyed in the attack. This was new, built from the ground up, with a nursery designed specifically for 2 growing children. James was walking now, stumbling really, falling more than walking, but determined, stubborn. Hope was smaller but fiercer. Her eyes tracked everything, calculated everything, a survivor's eyes. Maya held her daughter and watched her son take another tumbling step. Victoria sat in a wheelchair nearby, finally strong enough to leave the hospital, finally able to meet her grandchildren properly. "They're beautiful," Victoria whispered. "They're fighters," Maya replied. "Like their mother." Maya smiled. "Like their grandmother, too." Marcus joined them carrying glasses of champagne. "To new beginnings," he said. They raised their glasses. "To surviving," Maya added. "To family," Victoria concluded. They drank. Maya looked at the life she had built. The man who loved her. The children who needed her. The mother-in-law who had become her ally. The sister who had been her rock through everything. 1 year ago, she had been a nobody. A poor pregnant woman with nothing to her name except determination and despair. Now she was a mother, a wife, a survivor who had faced down monsters and won. The media called her a hero. The woman who saved a billionaire's mother, the ordinary person who did extraordinary things. But Maya knew the truth. She wasn't extraordinary. She was just a woman who refused to give up, who fought for her children, who chose survival when death would have been easier. That night, after the children were asleep, Marcus found her standing at the nursery window. "What are you thinking about everything?" Maya leaned back against him. "The gala, Charlotte, Edward, all of it." "Do you regret any of it?" Maya considered the question. "I regret nothing." She turned to face him. "Every terrible thing that happened led me here. To you. To them." She gestured at the sleeping babies. "How can I regret that?" Marcus kissed her softly. "I love you, Maya Johnson." "I love you too, Marcus Sterling." They stood together in the quiet nursery, watching their children dream. Outside the city hummed with a million stories, a million struggles, a million people fighting their own battles. But in this room, in this moment, there was only peace. Maya had walked into Manhattan with nothing but hope and determination. She had faced poverty, betrayal, violence, evil, and she had won. Not because she was special, not because she was extraordinary, but because she was a mother who refused to let anything destroy her family. That was the truth nobody could take away. That was the legacy she would leave her children. 15 doctors couldn't save the billionaire's mother, but Maya Johnson did, because sometimes the most powerful force in the world isn't money or medicine or military might. Sometimes the most powerful force in the world is a mother's love. And Maya Johnson had proven that love could move mountains, defeat empires, and save lives. She had proven that nobodies could become heroes. She had proven that survival was always possible. She had proven that hope was never, ever lost. And that was a story worth telling. Forever.